Hello and welcome. I'm Dr. Pauline Baird, a cultural bearer from the village of Buxton, Guyana. I tell the stories of my village. I tell our family histories, our whispered stories, our hidden, practiced, and long forgotten traditions. I tell these stories so that people can know about my village and you can learn from them. I'm going to speak in English and Creolese, loud taak story. A village, we get box. This is a small box. This is a matchbox. You take this matchbox and you get the match. And you take this match and you scratch this match so, and you light the incense. You light the incense that come from this box in your little matchbox house. When me been a village, me grew up with seeing a whole lot of little house. Then I left and went away to school and came back after many years and went down to the back of the village. And I visited my cousins and so on. But while I was down there, something caught my eyes. I saw these little houses like they never changed, like this back of this village never changed. And it kind of worried me a little bit. So I went to my father's house and he asked me, so how you like the village, what do you think? I said, Daddy man, this place not change, you know? He said, what you mean? Me say me been back there. My cousin Francis' daughter, Pansy house, and them little house the same way, nothing not change. What wrong with this village? He said, so you say? Me say, eh. Me say, and furthermore, you know what? It was a hot August day. I said, this place so dusty and hot. Me say, me feel like me can just take the whole back damn side, roll them up like a carpet, and dash them in the Atlantic Ocean and wash them out, and then put them back. Minus them little house. My father watch me boss laugh. He said, girl, so? Me say, eh. Years later now, me not turn a little bit more big woman. I decided that I gonna go and get my own house. So I moved from Japan and I go to this other place and I went to look at houses. Well, the houses were a little bit more than I expected. So I needed $10,000 to get all the money together. They say you must get a loan. So all right, I go to the bank to get this loan. First thing I learned, villages are different. Village of Japan, village America, and village where me there, a different system. They might operate different. Then people tell me that I give me no loan because they don't know me. Me say, look, I get on papers, they say you don't get credit. Me say, what is credit? They explain this thing to me. Of course, me don't get credit. So me ask my sister. My sister said, well, you got to get credit, you got for old people. I said, yeah, what you mean old people? A village and you not encouraged for old people, that bad thing. Debt? You're not supposed to get that. You not hang your hat where your hand can't reach. I don't know what to teach you. But America, you better hang your hat where your hand can't reach. You have to rent money for buy a house. And then you call it your house, you know. And then your house, a rent money house. What are your house? Crazy rhetorics. I've mixed things mix up. Forgive crazy. So I listened to this girl tell me the story. Me watch the little girl, me average about 20-something years old. So me tell she one story me never expect for jump out my mouth. I say, girl, let me tell you something. You see where I come from? My people were formerly enslaved Africans. And people never used to give them money to do anything. They buy this village and they become broke. People, they're brooks. $50,000 and pay. Plenty money nowadays. And then they had to use the smarts. So they used to build house. On the family land that they buy from this plantation, they would build a little house. And they get a kitchen garden. And then they sell the food and so. And they add on a bedroom. And then they add on a kitchen and they add on something else. And that's how the house they build. And they owe no one. But now you tell me that I must bring my money into your bank for you lend it back to me after 3 years, how many dollars interest, and then I gonna owe you, and basically I renting money, and this house is supposed to be my house. How is my house when I owe you money? Say, girl, I don't understand this thing. Well, that is the rhetoric of capitalism, but that's not the rhetoric of my people. So I had another think, and I started to think of this conversation I had with my father. And he said, girl, I saw you say. So me, I started to think, girl, I saw you say. And I started to rethink my ideas of how I look at the village. Come many years later, I interviewed Jennifer Lee. Jennifer, when Jennifer been a girl, Jennifer na been like boxing. Jennifer said when she go boxing, she vex her till because them house a boxing embarrass she. She said she shame. She used to tell people that she come from friendship. Na Buxton, because them house a Buxton look like a something out of grim fairy tales or something. She said, them houses knock up. She said, and I get no kind of organized architectural design that she can detect. She said, why them houses look so? She look at other people's village and she look at their village and she admire their village, but Buxton? Them house look strange. And she had to talk to her mother about it, and her mother explained that the people used to throw bucks. They used to pool the money together and they used to circulate it in the village. Money used to go from person to person to person in the village. And then they would do projects like building houses, and so they would add on a piece and add on a piece. And then she come to understand the work ethics of the people and the determination of the people, and she began to be proud of the people. Not only Jennifer Wan didn't think so, Winifred Gaskin, the first Minister of Education, the first black woman to be in the British Parliament in Guyana, she wrote a scathing review. She said, you see them little house? All these women are supposed to want that. Because she said them house, them little, all them kitchens so small, you can't even chop beef inside of it. She said, how them house small? And she said, them call monkey cages. And that's what she call them. Winifred Gaskin, and lucky she been write them in 1946 because this day and age, she politically incorrect. But that was what she felt. Now 3 generations of women, me, Jennifer, and Winifred Gaskin, we felt somehow we had a feeling about this village. And sometimes we weren't very proud of these houses. But looking back at what I call the material rhetorics of our village, the material rhetorics are the buildings in our village, and I wish we preserved those little houses. I don't have a say in what's preserved or not. But the Morgan House at Friendship Public Road, I wish that somebody can preserve that house. Because a house in the village is like an onion. You peel it back, you get the layers and layers. Many people have lived in those houses. So many things have happened in those houses. And I want to talk about the whispered stories and the family stories about little old houses. And every month on the first Sunday, I'm going to talk about our houses. And today I decided to focus on this notion of box. A little house as a matchbox, as we call them. But this matchbox here is full of potential, fire, the knowledge of the knowledge in fire, the ingenuity of our people to survive and to pass on and leave the wisps of their wisdom with us and how we can be. So in that vein, I live my life. I look at what the ancestors have to offer and pattern my life. And so I design systems and ways for success built on those things. And then I share them with others in my courses. So if you're interested, check the link below. And let's talk about how we can use the wisdom of the ancestors in this modern time, especially too in this COVID time. What can those little old houses teach us about ourselves that we can teach the next generation? If you like this, like and follow, tag the story and walk good.